Hi, all. Anybody here? It says 3 people are lurking. Hey, guess what? I have Nightbot too. Hello? Oh, nobody's coming. Fine. Hi, I could have had a B8. Hi, Tracy B. Debreciozos. And yeah, it's blurry, right? Seems like it always is at this time of night, right here for some reason. Captain Lee. That's funny. You said you got kicked out or whatever. Sometimes we just got to say what we got to say, right, guys? Been crazy on this YouTube today. Hi, Laura Lynn, Debbie L. Can you guys see Nightbot? Because I'm supposed to have it. And Nightbot said that it did 50 things earlier in the stream. It sent me a report. The catalog? Okay, I'm going to show some of the catalog right now. Yeah, I don't know why it's not here. It's supposed to be. Davida, are you here? Davida? Moo? Moo? I'll hold the catalog up some. Aw, Captain Lee. That's sweet. I just can't wait till part 2. I think that one's going to have the apology in it. Cannot believe what you did. You should be ashamed. What if someone did that to one of yours, a-hole? Hey, that's not nice, sweet crazy. You're showing you're crazy, but you're not too sweet. Tell me what I did, hon. I admitted that I was wrong and I made an apology. I did. I'm not nice. Well, yeah, might not sound nice, I guess. I made a mistake and I did apologize for it. I'm not going to give you my blood, okay? I ain't going to do that. I need my blood. Can't be nice all the time. Oh, I'm sure some of them will be here. I think a lot of them were out last night because of last night. Let's see. I didn't want to what's crazy. Did it sound like I didn't want to apologize? How many times did you hear me tell her in that stream, that Zoom, that I wanted to apologize or that I would do it? And I did do it. Oh, we need a wrench because you can't. I'm having a conversation. What are you talking about? I'm telling you. You heard what I was saying to her. What did I say that was so wrong? I'm not afraid to talk to you. We can have differing opinions. I'm not a bit afraid. I just came on, Danielle. Don't block Sweet Crazy. Why would you do that? Anyway, look at what your chat said. Yeah, don't block her. What my chat said. Sweet Crazy, I apologized in Carolyn's live like they asked. Okay? And they didn't just ask, okay? They berated and berated, and they went on and on. Sweet Crazy, what are you so upset about? Come on. I mean, what's your problem? I apologized. I made a mistake. It was an honest mistake. And I apologized. Would you go say all this to Natasha? I know you love her. Would you be there arguing with her about this? I don't think so. So I don't know what your problem is with me. I made a mistake. I own it. They humiliated me. They embarrassed the heck out of me, to my own self. Do you get that? I was embarrassed for my own self because I let them walk all over me, and I did it because I want to protect my friend's channel. Okay? Because I care for my friend. She's a good person. She has a wonderful channel. And these people really had me thinking that somehow I was going to be taking the whole channel down. I don't know why I was so dumb to think that, but I was. Because I had never had anybody talking to me the way she did. And it was a lot different when you were right there in that meeting with them. Do you want story time or not, Sweet Crazy? Now come on, or go to bed with no story time. Yeah, come on, Sweet Crazy. You're welcome to stay and listen. It just might make you chill a little bit because I don't want to talk about it right now. Been going on all day. Okay, let me get my book. Okay, let me show you guys a few of the Sears catalog pictures too. Hey, Davita, there you are. It was cute. Do you want story time or not? Oh boy, guys. Yeah, we'll look at a little bit of this and then I'm going to read a few stories. A few stories from this new book that I read out of last night. Okay? Sound like Dave's got another Western or something on in there. But I told him I was going live again. Third time today. This is crazy. Crazy. I'm kind of a sweet crazy. Okay, let me get it. I haven't seen Kevin all day either. I wonder where he went. He's probably got more sense than I do, more sense to stay out of it. All right, here we go. Right, Captain Lee. Oh, guys, Can you believe this? Look at this. And it has 2 of these cake thingies in it. Oh no, here goes Dave. Sneezing. See, this is one of them. Look at this though. The one I got already had part of it gone. There's 2 of them in here. It's okay. It must not be as good as what I was thinking, because I would have eaten this all up right away. But it's okay. Dave, can you turn it down a little? That's why I'm not telling him that you said bless you, Danielle, because then he'll make some remark like, oh, well, she cares about me, but you don't. You always get mad because I sneeze so much. Well, I'll tell him, see what he says, see if I'm right. Dave, Danielle said bless you when you sneezed. Danielle said to tell you bless you. When you sneezed, she heard you. He goes, that wasn't me. It's like all embarrassed now. Hi, help me, Rhonda. Okay, look at this. Show a few pictures. You guys have been so patient. It's I did message Carolyn and I just said that I was going live to read, since I figured she wasn't, and that I hoped she was resting. These are Christmas cards, I guess. They call them Christmas folders. It's a special value, selected folders, a Christmas offering that's really sensationally low priced. Each card a different colorful design. 50 cards with 50 matching envelopes for 49 cents. Would you be able to use these for decoupage, Davida? Or are they too heavy? There's some really pretty ones here too, guys. And here is your wrapping paper. For $1.69, you get 321 tissues, cards, seals, and 312 feet of ribbon and cords. And then they have an even better value on the other page. Gonna lay down and listen? Okay. All right, Captain Lee. I know it does. It makes you feel bad when you get booted, doesn't it? And I understand. Sometimes it's just better not to say anything, Captain Lee. I mean, that's what Carolyn always says. She said, don't go and defend me or anything like that. I don't want people I don't want you to go out there and get, and defend me. It's not going to do any good. Let me fight my own battles. Hi, Frida Schnell. You could probably use the cards. Look at these table charm. Wow, it'd be something to have some of these today, guys. Oh, this 3-piece baby set, 62 cents. Story of Jack and Jill in blue and pink design on sturdy oven and erase proof, craze proof, semi-porcelain ware. Oh, look at all these guys. They're so cute. And some of these are not politically correct, but it's from the sign of the times. Like these novelty kitchen dolls and the gay kitchen dolls. Right here. And then the gay kitchen dolls. That's nice, Rosalene. Now enjoy the story. Let's go back in time. Hi, Leah Jane. That's okay. It's okay. I'm going to skip to the candy. Because I know I showed some of this on Carolyn's. Look at these, though, first. Lifelike glow light trees will last for years. A 10-inch tree, $1.19, and a 15-inch tree, $5.69. Hi, Tammy Flo. Look at these. 1942, guys, Sears catalog. Even those that don't like me are welcome to stay here and read and listen. It might soften up your mind a little bit, soften your heart, and open your mind. I'm not all that bad, really. And neither is Carolyn. We're really not bad people. Look at this. Royal purple carefree rayons. More welcome than ever. A gift of lovely new hosiery. Hi, Kim D. Yeah, it's a facsimile of a Sears catalog. California Thunder. Captain Lee. Oh, they have the Bible, Christmas stories. See how much the Bible was back then. $3.98, $5.89, $1 for genuine leather. The ideal gift, the Holy Bible. Oh, my arm from being here. Excuse me. The toys will be fun to look at as well. But I want to find the candy. Show you guys how they rate these candies, and a lot of these other things they rate. Look what they say here too. Remember, this was during the war, World War II. So they put this in about their prices. Sears ceiling prices. For selling prices, see catalog pages. Here are all the items in this Christmas catalog in which Sears selling prices are below ceiling prices allowable by regulations of the Office of Price Administration. Do not confuse the ceiling prices shown here with our selling prices. For prices at which our goods are sold, see the page of this Christmas catalog on which the items are illustrated and described. So actually, they were selling lower. And they have a lot of things here about the soldiers. Shop and mail early for Christmas. Unusual conditions this year make early Christmas shopping more important than ever before. Your cooperation will be appreciated by the post office and will help us to serve you to your entire satisfaction. Begin now. Shop early through this great Christmas book and mail your orders early. Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff in here. I'm just trying to find the candy. I know I did show you guys some of this because I showed you the creepy looking bear. Christmas ornaments. Where'd the candy go? Here we go. I think I did show some of this. Okay, look, it says for a bargain, you get a 4-pound box of chocolates for 96 cents. That's the bargain. The little wreaths on there. How pretty, right? The next one says good for a 5-pound chocolate assortment for $1.89. And then better, 5 pounds of fruit and nuts for $2.59. Sounds good. And then the best is a 5-pound deluxe fruit and nuts for $3.37. And then they have some underneath here. It doesn't categorize them, but isn't that neat though, in a way? It's a heck of a lot of chocolate, isn't it? Don't they make that look huge?
Yeah. I mean, 5 pounds of chocolate, yeah.
And then nuts, and then the hard candy I remember showing. Here's your pail full of tempting Christmas sweets, Davida. 10 pounds of candy in a metal utility pail for $1.89.
Excuse me, where are those prices today?
I know. And in this, it says you get old-fashioned creamy chocolate drops, crunchy hard candy in assorted shapes, delicious flavorful black walnut puffs, sugared fruit-flavored gumdrops, tempting Christmas mellow cream figures, sweet chocolate panned bridge mix.
Ooh. Look at that little truck.
That is cute. We had these when I was little.
Really?
I'm sure they still have them, probably.
Yeah.
10 pounds. Oh, okay. So it does have Nightbot now? Because I did start Nightbot.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I put Nightbot in just for the heck of it. Is it? I don't see Nightbot. Hi, Mike.
You probably have to be on your channel in the regular YouTube instead of the YouTube studio.
Okay, let's see.
Channel in the regular YouTube instead of the YouTube studio.
Okay, let's see.
Channel in the regular YouTube instead of YouTube.
Because it's supposedly supposed to tell you top chatter and all that. I thought, well, maybe I'll get Deborah Vancouver in here. See, I still don't see it, Lex. Maybe I have to mess more with the settings.
Probably. Yeah, other people don't see them either.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I must not have done something right.
Don't put anyone timeout.
No, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, now let's just read some stories. That way I don't have to keep holding it. No. What?
Hi, Davida.
No, you're not chopped liver, Danielle. No. Of course not. I love you, Danielle. You get ornery just like I do sometimes. We both got that little bit of stubbornness going.
Rhonda says she keeps getting timed out.
Okay, is Nightbot doing it then and we're just not seeing him? That is weird because he's always there rolling around in Carolyn's.
Did you pay for him or something?
No, it's free.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't say anything about paying. I know Carolyn said it was free.
Yeah, you probably have to mess around with the settings.
Yeah, probably. 5 minutes at a time? What? I'm sorry, I'll have to play around with the settings when I get off.
Like,
No. Just Kroger, lemon lime, seltzer. Don't get that started. They already say, what's that one? Two Scooter Drunk is that one name? That must be it, but I don't even see him. I am not seeing him at all. Okay, you guys ready for some stories? Oh, wow. Wow. Look at this, guys.
oh, wow.
Making our Christmas sweet. Look at this.
Another Sears catalog in there. From 1952.
1952?
Yeah. 10 years after this one. He's in the bushes with Kevin.
Yeah, I told Moo, where are you? Kevin, where are you? Yeah, it says life is like a box of chocolates. Finding the perfect piece of chocolate was a highly anticipated event for Lynn Mink on this page. She pored over the wish book every December, studying each colorful page. Very cool. Danielle, can you message Moo? I'm always having Danielle do something. Danielle, can you drop this link? And Carolyn's, I'm like, yeah, Carolyn, Danielle can do that. Turn this light a little more.
These dolls are adorable.
They are cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
Show them some of the dolls first, Lex. I don't know, California Thunder.
Here's some of the baby dolls. Some like fashion dolls, I think. Some more dolls with clothes sets. Oh, quick, I'm cleaning.
No, I wasn't. I was just taking a deep breath. No, I was sighing, actually.
Oh, these are adorable. Little strollers.
Davita loves the dolls.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danielle. Oh, Adventures by Beth. I'm sure she didn't mean to ignore you. Dorothy doesn't look at her chat a lot. And everybody's just kind of listening and doing their own thing. Nobody would have ignored you on purpose.
Some more doll stuff.
Okay. First, I'll read the one. Okay, because we got right to this last night. This little girl who her mom would hide her Christmas presents at the post office in
Really?
the safe. Yeah, because she was such a snooper. I'll read just this short little thing and then we'll go to the Christmas candy. Okay, it says order and chaos. Seen here is the calm before the storm of flying bows, shredded wrappings, and laughter at the rent home in 1971. Here's the picture. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of presents and a tiny tree. But
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's cute though. I mean, who doesn't love lots of wrapped packages under the tree?
Yeah. I would have loved having this dream house as a kid.
Which one?
The 7-room dream house.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Did you show them or no?
No, you can show them. And then I'll read these stories.
Look at how cool this house looks, guys. 7-room colonial house.
Okay. Okay, this is the Buick for me, or will I get the Post Toasties, which are cereal, which they still have today, I think. My grandparents, Anne and Leo Rent, came up with a creative way to ward off snooping children during the holidays. Each year, at the beginning of December, they would put all the presents out around their tree above. Displaying the gifts that early usually led to the big question, who's going to get the big present this year? To prevent any of us from knowing which person was getting which gifts, they replaced our names on the gift tags with categories. One year we'd find street names on our tags. The next year it might be TV shows. They used everything from brands of cereal and song titles to car models. The tradition lasted more than 30 years until gifts finally gave way to gift certificates. But it was always fun to guess what would be on our gift tags. That's cute. Isn't that cute? She'd have to have a master list,
Yeah.
like Post Toasties,
Yeah.
Timmy and whatever. Okay, making our Christmas sweet. And she's up here. There's a picture of her looking at all the chocolate in her that they have there on the card table. The Sears wish book meant chocolates and the most important decision of the season. Lynn Mink, Beaverton, Oregon. It was the most exciting day of the year, more anxiously awaited than the first day of school, and more anticipated than any holiday during my childhood in the 1950s. The day the Sears Christmas book arrived in our Northern Illinois mailbox. As soon as I saw the mail truck, I would bundle up in my red wool coat and matching mittens, gray furry hat, and sturdy black boots, and walk down our long, snow-packed driveway, hoping that today was the day. Fred, our mailman, never hinted when it was the day, but I think he knew what I was waiting for, because he was so careful with the package, it was never torn or creased. When I opened the mailbox and saw the brown paper and the thickness of the parcel, I knew the treasured Christmas wish book had finally arrived. I would run back to the house, clutching the book tight, taking great care not to drop it in the snow. Mother let me have the honor of opening it. First, I tried to gently slide the book out of the wrapper. Then impatience would take hold, and I would tear off the paper, eager for a thrilling glimpse of the cover. Some years it was Santa Claus or a nutcracker, but my favorite Christmas was a colorful, brightly lit Christmas tree. I would sit on the living room floor and turn the wish book over.
There's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. We've missed you today. It's been crazy. Good thing you haven't been on. Oh, Kevin, guess who called in earlier tonight? I don't know if you happen to be listening. Brent Levere. He was quite a hit. He's got a personality. I did miss you, Danielle. I bet. Oh, you're saying that to Kevin?
What?
Yeah, Brent Levere. Danielle goes, did you miss me? I guess to Kevin. Hey, where's our Lisa H? We waited impatiently for the wish book too. Did you? I don't think we ever got that. I don't know. I remember seeing it though. Somewhere. Maybe we did. Okay. I would run back to the house, Oh, okay, Danielle. Oh, okay, Kevin. I would run back to the house, clutching the book tight, taking great care not to drop it in the snow. Mother let me have the honor of opening it. First, I tried to gently slide the book out of the paper. Danielle. Out of the wrapper. Then impatience would take hold, and I would tear off the paper, eager for a thrilling glimpse of the cover. Some years it was Santa Claus or a nutcracker, but my favorite was a colorful, brightly lit Christmas tree. I would sit on the living room floor and turn the wish book over so I could start at the back with the toys. I'd linger over the dolls, but they were only the second most important things within the book's pages. I skipped past the fur coats and the frilly dresses to the front of the book, and there they were, chocolates. Every year, my mother ordered the 5-pound box of chocolates. It arrived in December, and that was the only time we ever had an entire box. We would go to the little Sears store in town and pick it up at the desk, along with other packages I wasn't permitted to see. I got to hold the heavy box in my lap during the drive home. Later, my mother put it safely in a high cabinet in the kitchen where I couldn't sneak a piece. After dinner on Christmas Eve, she would bring out the chocolate box. It was wrapped in holiday paper, usually white with red and green holly or ornaments. I ripped off the paper and lifted the lid. The distinctive, sweet scent of chocolate filled the air and made me hungry all over again. Glorious multi-shaped candies lay before me, divided into 4 sections in 2 layers. Choosing the right chocolate was a big decision, since I was allowed only 2 pieces on Christmas Eve. Usually I could tell what was inside each one, but once in a while I was fooled, like the time I bit into what I thought was chocolate cream and got a big piece of pineapple instead. By the time I was 7, I learned to study the chocolates carefully before choosing. It was serious business, and it still is. Can't tell if that's Peanut or the TV. Christmas Day in our upstate New York home brought a treat that was allowed only once a year in the war years of the 40s. On that special day, Dad carried on a tradition his father started. He drilled a hole in one side of a lemon, then showed us how to slide a peppermint stick in the hole and gently suck up the lemon's juice. But surprise, the sugar from the candy combined with the sour lemon juice to create a wonderful sweet tart taste. This simple, inexpensive treat was a highlight of our Christmases. Years later, my brother, sister, and I realized the importance of this tradition as it made up for the gifts my parents couldn't afford to buy. But I'll always feel lucky that despite the hardship of these years, we had this sweet ritual to savor. From David Hudson, Connecticut, New York. Here's one called Our Backyard Tree Farm. I don't think I read this one. Moo. Kevin, I can't. I didn't. But I can't even see Nightbot. I'll set the commands before I come on live again next. I don't think no. I'm afraid to get out of here to do it. I think I did the disabled the one where it said I did everything else was enabled. I think I clicked disable whatever the thing was on the bottom. I think it might have been too many emojis, but maybe not. Daniel. Really? I could set it without a problem? I can? Okay. You want me to try it? It doesn't even show it, though. It's just doing it on the slide. Kevin, I saw that. I was like, what? Okay, Adventures with Beth. Is it really a problem? Do I need to do it right now or can I wait? No, and none of them said that. Let's see. See, I was supposed to make Nightbot a mod, and I couldn't make it a mod. Maybe that's why it's not showing. Just wait. Okay. I'll just wait. Everybody knows it'll take too long. Take all the story time. Read. I'll just read. I'm good at that. Everything else, not too much. Our backyard tree farm. In 1968, when I was 5 years old, my family moved to South Plainfield, New Jersey. Compared to our small yard on Staten Island, the new property felt like the country. Little did I know that our more precious yard would bring a family tradition that I cherish to this day. Mittens, is it in there? I closed the door.
Okay, good.
Wait. Let me kiss you. Good night. I'll shut the camp. No, I don't know how to shut it off on here. They can't see.
Oh, good.
Be careful. Sound like you're ready to fall over.
Nope.
Security code.
Where'd she go?
Lexi?
She always goes to the bathroom when I go to bed. She always do that.
Just tell her.
Yes, I don't know.
Lexi always does do that. Dave goes to bed about this time every night. She's always in our bathroom, which is in our room, you know. We saw. The first November at the new house, Dad decided that our family of 8 should pile into our old station wagon and go to a tree farm to select a live Christmas tree. After we came to a consensus on the tree, we tagged it for later pickup. I can't remember if we read this, but it's a short one anyway. The day we picked out our prize tree began the holiday season for us. My dad and older brother dug a hole in the yard and covered it with plywood. This spot would be the future home of our Christmas tree. I remember how methodical my dad was, even making my brother box up dirt from the hole and move it into the garage so it wouldn't freeze. We picked up our tree the first week of December and kept it in the garage for a few days so the warmth of our home didn't shock it. In the meantime, we rearranged furniture so the tree and its wash tub would fit just right. Once the tree was in place, we decorated it. Mom had the honor of placing the white sheet above the roots. while Dad was in charge of the watering. I enjoyed every minute of sitting under that tree with my family, opening presents and sharing stories and laughter. After Christmas each year, the tree would be planted in its new home, the hole my dad and brother had dug weeks earlier. They would plant it the week after New Year's. Over the years, I lost track of how many trees were planted on the property, but I still remember the location of the very first tree. Eventually, we ran out of room in our yard, and Dad began donating our trees to the local parish our family attended. Once my brother married, I was given the honor of helping my dad with the tree preparation. I was overjoyed to have an important role in such a memorable family tradition. From Philip Elko, Lake Ariel, Pennsylvania. This one is storybook tradition. I'll talk her through Nightbot and give her false info. Thanks, Tammy. At least I know somebody really loves me. You love my stories. Storybook tradition. This is my favorite picture. That's me at age 3, just before Christmas in 1947. My family lived with my grandparents, Joseph and Alfreda Weller, in Paxton, Pennsylvania. Whenever I asked Grandpa, please hold me, he would pull me onto his lap and read to me. Here he is reading my favorite illustrated storybook, Night Before Christmas. A few years later, it would be the first book I learned to read. My father, Jen Esslinger, took the photo and developed it. My talented mother, Jo, did the tinting. This is such a sweet moment. I treasure this picture and the memories of my grandfather. From Bonnie Bear, Manchester, Maryland. I've noticed so many of these people are like from the East, it seems like. It's like New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Cute picture. And here's the one, the previous story. Tree farm. Brent's back. Brent, I have Nightbot, but it's going crazy. I don't have it set right. So you may get timed out and everything and not even know why. Nothing personal. Okay, I think we read this. Uncle Bob's Christmas. Magic radiated through a Chicago bungalow filled with holiday spirit. From Donna Peel, Algonquin, Illinois. As soon as I said mostly New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, we got an Illinois. My sister and I were raised in Chicago in the 1940s and 50s. We lived in a small apartment in the city's north side, although it didn't seem small when we were little ourselves. On Christmas Eves, our Christmas Eves were pure magic, helped in a big way by my Uncle Bob Carlson, a tall, strapping Dane with a smile and laugh to match. He would gather family and friends at his home on Christmas Eve. This man knew how to deck the halls, and he did everything in his power to make the holiday wonderful. Uncle Bob lived in a typical Chicago brick bungalow built by his father on Harding Avenue. Compared to our city apartment, it was huge. The entrance was on the side of the house. And when we arrived and walked up the stairs, we were greeted by wonderful aromas that emanated from the kitchen. As we reached the top of the side stairs, there was a hallway to the left. On the right was a swinging door made of heavy, shiny, dark wood with small panes of beveled glass and lace curtains. We were not allowed to enter that room until after dinner, but all of us children tried in vain to peek through that lace curtains to see what treasures and decorations lay on the other side. Dinner seemed a long time away, but while the adults gathered, we went to play in the basement. This was also a special place. We could reach it in the normal way by going down the stairs, but if you were lucky enough to be small, you could get there by sliding down the short, angled clothes chute located in the main floor bathroom, dropping into a big canvas hamper. Once downstairs, we found a player piano, toys, books, and so many things to investigate. The floor was raised slatted wood, so your feet wouldn't get cold, although you could lose a crayon or pencil through the gaps. Soon we were called for dinner and ran up the stairs to the dining room. There was a large table set with a beautiful tablecloth, china dishes, silver, crystal glasses, and the best part, a Christmas candle at every plate. There were small, colorful candles depicting snowmen, Santa Clauses, Christmas trees, angels, deer, choir singers, and tin soldiers. That sounds cute, doesn't it? As the candles were lit, the room was filled with the warm glow of peace and love, family and friends together, all orchestrated by a warm, caring, loving man who wanted to make all of it special. After supper, we children were not allowed to leave the table until we were excused. Then we could play downstairs again, eagerly waiting for the adults to finish their meal and conversation. Finally, it was over. Uncle Bob would call us up when we were all lined up in the hallway. He would open the swinging door, and the magic would begin. The beautiful tree, candles, lights, decorations, music, and then, just as we entered, a noise by the fireplace. We turned, and there stood Santa Claus, brushing the soot from the chimney off his red suit. What child would not have been enchanted? This is the memory my Uncle Bob gave to all of us, a wonderful kind of Christmas magic. That magic remains in my heart, and every year I relive the memories of those special nights. And here's a picture of a special man, the author and her sister Judy, posed with Uncle Bob in 1950 above. Opposite is Donna's mom, Verna, with Uncle Bob, and the house where the magic happened up at the top. And the house. This one is called A Christmas Wonder. Christmas is a time for surprises, but our family got a special one in the late 1940s when my father revealed a side of himself we'd never seen. Our rural area didn't experience the wonder of electricity until years later. To me, electricity meant wealth. I looked forward to our December rides to the county seat for shopping because the houses with warm lamplight inside and colored lights outside seemed wondrous to me. My father was a quiet man, and he didn't get involved in the frivolity of the season. That's why everyone in the family recalls the year we set up the tree in the living room, and Dad told us not to put any decorations on it. He had been working for days with wire and automobile taillight bulbs. Now I saw why he had asked to use my watercolors, a request that had puzzled me. Dad had painted the clear glass bulbs and fashioned a string of lights. Behind the tree, he placed a wooden box that held a battery and attached the contacts at the end of the wires. We had lights on our Christmas tree for the very first time. Dad was as delighted as we were, and I wondered why he'd ever wanted to hide his enjoyment of the season. From Ruth Martin, West Alexander, Pennsylvania. We need to find Scooter a book stand on a swivel about a foot tall. So I can just swirl it around and it won't hurt my hand and my shoulder. Debbie D, hopefully she is. I'm pretty sure she is because it's 3 o'clock here. So it's 4 o'clock there. I'm pretty sure. Now we need a font. Here's a short little one. Tree lit up neighborhood. Christmas was an exciting time for me and my sister Sylvia. We had come with our family from Germany to Teaneck, New Jersey in 1929. Our Christmas tree had candle lights on it instead of electric lights. They were lit on Christmas Eve when our family sang Silent Night in German. Then Mom would extinguish the candles while we opened our gifts. The candles were lit again the next night and allowed to burn down to about 1 inch. Mom would then replace them and light them again a few days later. The neighborhood kids, who all had electric lights on their trees, were fascinated by the candles. Mom would often let them come in for a closer look. From Ralph Garrick, Wilmington, Delaware. See, we got all these Easton people. This one will be from Florida. This one's called Muscle Man. Uh-oh. That's what news tubers. She says I was muscling them. And she didn't approve of that. I don't know how that email was muscling them. I was begging for her to please not stress Carolyn. Because a lot of us mods were there that day. Remember, guys, when Carolyn was so stressed out? Christmas Eve during the day. And that's, that was what killed me because they thought I was muscling them. She does need it, Debbie. She doesn't need to worry about anything right now, right? It was, right, Danielle? And that's when they started that night. And I was trying to explain to them, how on edge she was and everything. It was horrible. And they didn't care. They said that was trying to muscle them. But, okay. I'm not going to say anything. That's it. Let's stick to the stories. Muscle Man. The author flexes far right in 1943 or 44 in Manhattan. At right, his mother Mary, seated on the right, and Aunt Frances, seated on the left, with their spouses standing behind them in 1941. They all look like a bunch of gangsters here. I love it. Thank you, Davida. But that was muscling to them. I was trying to boss them around. I thought they happened to care, they acted like they cared so much, supposedly. But we all know now that sure ain't true. I knew it that night when we got off that call. Now I'm not going to say any more about it. Branches of Love. On December 23rd, 1943, I stood in line for more than an hour with a nickel clutched in my palm and waited to buy a piece of double bubble gum. When my turn came, I parted with my coin reluctantly, but it was well worth the price. I carefully unwrapped the waxed paper square and waited for the gum's sweetness to perfume the air. Hey, Two Scooter, you're still on. Good morning from Ireland. Good morning from Indiana in the good old USA. Long after the bubblegum lost its flavor, that reminds me of you, Davita, for some reason, the bubblegum. Long after the bubblegum lost its flavor, I preserved the pink wad in a glass of water on the kitchen table. The next morning after breakfast, I chewed it again, even in school, until Miss Miller caught me. Dummy, should have left it in the glass, I thought, as I maneuvered my gum to form one last bubble. It popped prematurely and was gone as I spit it into the wastebasket. Why don't they let kids chew gum in school? Just because they're afraid they're going to get distracted and throw it on the floor or something, or in somebody's hair? Kids don't do that kind of stuff. Kids don't get distracted. Kids don't put gum in inappropriate places. I had collected discarded lead weights from double-hung sash windows at 10 cents a pound to earn that nickel for the gum, and now both the gum and the treat were gone. I didn't know when the scrap man would return to buy more metal. I panicked. Days or weeks without double bubble gum? Even at 7 years old, I understood the war's demands for rationing. I planned my gum and candy purchases as carefully as my mom planned the weekly amount of sugar, fat, and meat she bought with her coupon book. When I got home, Mom was taking the eyebrow pencil out of her makeup case. As I watched, she squatted behind her sister and drew one perfectly straight dark brown line down the back of each of Aunt Frances's legs. When Mom finished, Frances surveyed her elder sister's handiwork and commented, "Pretty good, Mary. The lines match. Thanks." The line extending from mid-thigh down to Aunt Frances's heel was meant to simulate the seam of a stocking. It made her feel like she had nylon hose, a luxury the stylish 20-year-old couldn't afford. Mom and her 5 sisters moved in with widowed Nana while their husbands were overseas fighting the war. We shared a 2-bedroom railroad flat on Manhattan's Lower East Side. It was cramped, but we didn't mind. I loved all my aunts, but felt a special kinship with Aunt Frances. Maybe it was her soft voice, her patience, her artistic ability, or just the fact that she was always there for me. "Let's go," Aunt Frances said after she bundled me up. There was snow in the air, and it was Christmas Eve afternoon. Down the 5 flights we raced, our mission to buy a Christmas tree. We traipsed from one stand to another, down Attorney Street to Madison Street, past Grand and St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church, where we'd later attend midnight mass. But with each block, we became more and more disillusioned. "Skeletons," Aunt Frances muttered under her breath as she surveyed the trees stacked against the schoolyard fence. What nerve to call them Christmas trees. Outrageous prices. Excuse me, guys. All my seltzer water. You can count the number of branches on each tree. I nodded in agreement. We pushed on while the temperature dropped. We warmed our hands over the trash can fires the sellers lit to keep warm. As we walked, Aunt Frances picked up discarded branches of pine and fir. I figured she would put them on our windowsills and dressers to give the house a seasonal air. By 8 p.m., we were tired, hungry, cold, and treeless. I was disappointed as we trudged home. My thoughts drifted to my father, who was off on a Pacific island, whose name I couldn't even pronounce. He probably didn't have a tree either. I expected a Christmas morning with a bare spot where the fir should have been. But I was wrong. I woke to discover Aunt Frances had bored holes in an old broomstick and inserted the branches she'd collected into the holes. Then she had decorated our broomstick tree with Popeye lights she had bought just for me. As I reminisce about Christmas of 1943, I remember how Aunt Frances taught me the meaning of the holiday with branches of love. Robert Kovner is told to his wife, Bonnie Yari, Maitland, Florida. And here's a picture of it. It looks like a real tree. It says, plenty under the tree. Our sad little tree, sort of like Charlie Brown's, had no store-bought decorations, yet it still added to the wonder of Christmas for us. Oh, this is somebody different. For us in 1952, writes Colleen Burgess of Hesperia, California. The Stuvenel kids from left, Colleen, Colette, Mike, and Betty, were excited that Santa had come to their home in Clinton, Iowa. Oh, look how cute. Oh, and I see the Tinker Toy set. I love their expressions. Oh, the little girl has an ironing board. The two little boys have some kind of a service station or something. Oh, here we go. Season's greetings cards. Getting holiday greetings in the mail is like a surprise visit from friends and family. The cards on these pages used a variety of messages and festive images to send warm Yuletide wishes. In many households, these cards not only warmed the hearts of loved ones, but became part of the holiday decor. See pages 40 to 41 for a glimpse of the unique and interesting ways many families displayed these cards so all their visitors could enjoy them. Oh, I love the little girl with in the plane. I loved all these cards from that you would see back then, from the old days. I wonder if my dad has any of my grannies. My mom's brother stole all the pictures and everything when she passed away, when their mom passed away. It was terrible. She ended up getting some of them back years later. I guess he felt guilty. Holiday Whistle Stop Tour, the day his train came in. This one's from Greenfield, Indiana. Oh, wait. No. I went too far. Dad's Tree Artistry. Look at these trees, guys. I'm trying my best. I'm looking here on my phone. Hey, Sassy Darcy. We looked at a little bit of the catalog, Sassy Darcy, when we first started. Aren't they pretty, Kevin? I still have to set my phone up to get a better angle. Okay, let's read about Dad's tree artistry. Well, White Christmas, this one, the white tree. Sherry Owens and her brother Don, aged 3 and sick, sit next to their dad's spray painted tree at their home on First Street in Henderson, Kentucky in 1948. Wow, he's got a service station too. And then this one, All That Glitters. My great uncle's tree is filled with family history, says Carolyn Peterson of Memphis, New York. The celluloid doll was a gift to my mom, who was 6 in 1924. Oh, wow. I see that one standing there under the tree. Wow. Okay. Before the Christmas tree went up, her father took several days to improve on what Mother Nature had started. Sherry Owens, Cincinnati, Ohio. Christmas in our family was always an exciting time for my brother Don and me. There were always lots of presents, but almost as exciting was the perfect white Christmas tree. When we were kids in the 1940s and early 50s, white Christmas trees were unusual, but we always had a white tree, and a perfect one at that. Dad would meticulously choose the most perfectly shaped tree he could find and make it even more perfect at home. It took several days and a lot of effort before that tree could meet Dad's standards. After attaching the trunk to the base, he would stand back, take a long look at the tree, and reach for his saw. All you crafters out there understand this. We get very few Christmas cards anymore. But we don't send them out either, so I don't expect any. First, he would remove all the lower branches, creating plenty of room for presents underneath, and carefully put the branches aside for later. He'd step back and walk around the tree several times, contemplating his next move. It was then the real artistry began. Dad would get his brace and bit, choose a bit size, slightly smaller than the base of a specific tree branch he had cut off earlier, then push his way through the branches to drill a hole. A chosen branch was pushed in the hole, and voila! A once bare spot was no longer bare. When Dad was done shaping, he brought out the paint sprayer and sprayed until every single inch of that tree was white as snow. Every year it seemed our tree was more breathtaking than the last, as if it had been in a beautiful snowstorm. My brother and I will never forget those perfect white trees Dad created in the garage. Why can't we just step back and, pick one of these pictures, point, and we would go right in there, but we would be where we wanted to be with our family? Do you know what I mean? Why can't we? I want to know, why can't we, guys? Can't we figure out a way to do it? We think real hard. Maybe somebody will have a dream, like a miracle, and we can all be able to do it just for one night. The year we almost had no Christmas tree. In December of 1947, my mother told my sister and me that we wouldn't be getting a Christmas tree because the three of us were going to spend Christmas with Mom's family in Des Moines, Iowa. Kind of by you, Darcy. Right, Davita? Yes, so I'm not the only one that, yes. Let's find the portal, right? My father would stay behind on our Missouri farm to milk the cows and tend to the other livestock. Since we weren't going to be home for Christmas, she saw no reason to get a tree. One Saturday, a couple of weeks before Christmas, after listening to us girls bemoan the situation one more time, my father said, I know where we can get a Christmas tree and it won't cost us anything. Within a few minutes, he had the tractor hitched up to a wagon, which held a ladder, rope, and saw. We traveled down the road about half a mile to an abandoned farmhouse that had a tall cedar tree in the front yard. My father got out his ladder, tied the rope around his waist, with the saw in one hand, went up the tree. When he got as high as he could, he threw one end of the rope over a tall branch and proceeded to inch his way up to the very top. He'd been a telephone lineman, so he knew how to use a rope to make his way up a pole or a tree. When he had gotten as far as he thought he needed to go, he started sawing. Soon he shouted, "Get back, girls, it's coming down." He cut off the top 5 feet of that tree, which was the perfect size. When we got back home, my sister and I got our families 2 boxes of Christmas ornaments. We decorated the tree with our usual pride and gusto, and even my mother had to admit that it was a fine-looking tree by Pat Dabley Jorgensen, Meade, Colorado. And this tree over here on the far right, it says, as was custom, I cut the top off a large tree on my parents' back 40 in Aitkin, Minnesota. Minnesota, we got to you, Darcy, for this Christmas tree in 1957, says Ben Ream, left of Detroit Lakes. Above, Sandy Flood of Morris, Illinois, shared this photo from the 40s or 50s from a collection inherited from Charlotte Billmeyer, who lived in Chicago. Oh, and I just noticed also 3 of these photos have wallpaper. Takes me back to my granny's house. This one's Holiday Whistle Stop Tour. My nose keeps itching. That means you're going to get company, doesn't it? Book stand on a lazy Susan, yes. Yeah, I have one of those down at the cottage. But it's just, a round thing. I guess it is, QB. The day his train came in, that cold December morning in 1932. I'm wanting to read something that's going to make Davita cry, and at least a couple of people get teary-eyed. Even Mike. See if we can get anybody to do that tonight. That cold December morning in 1932 started like any other, but it was one our family will never forget. I was 11, and my little brother Billy was 6. Our family lived in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Depression days were still affecting us, so Christmas would would again mean a small tree and inexpensive gifts beneath it. Not much for two little kids to look forward to. My little brother, however, was filled with expectation. He flew around the dining room gathering his coat, scarf, helmet, hat, and gloves, urging me to hurry up so we could get to the Rivoli Theater. He really believed he might win the Lionel train set to be given away that afternoon. He wanted an electric train so much. Mother had explained many times that it was out of the question. They were too expensive, and only necessities could be purchased on our dad's meager salary. We walked the 3 blocks to the theater. I listened the whole way to Billy's constant chatter about the electric train he was going to win. We took our place in the long line that had formed in front of the ticket window. All of our school friends were there, talking about the train they were going to win, as Billy told them he was going to win it. We finally got to the window, bought our 10-cent tickets, and went inside. The usher tore them and put half in a special box, giving me the other stubs. We found some seats near the front and sat through the main feature, a cowboy serial, and the Path News. By this time, everyone was talking and getting more excited, especially Billy. I managed to keep him quiet and in his seat. At last, the lights came on. The curtains were drawn together, covering the huge screen, and everyone grew quiet. The theater manager came out and walked to the center of the stage. He was carrying a box under one arm and the larger train box in his other arm. He put both boxes down. "I think this is what you've all been waiting for," he said, smiling and looking out over the many little upturned faces. He picked up the smaller box, shook it briskly, reached in and pulled out a ticket stub. In a loud voice, the manager called out 4 numbers: 4572. Billy grabbed my arm and explained, "Sister, sister." I looked at our tickets and couldn't believe what I saw. Then I laughed and said, "Here's the ticket, honey. Go get your train." He had won. Billy flew up to the stage to collect his prize. We were eager to show our parents that Billy had indeed won the train set. He carried the long box all the way home, although I offered to help. How his little arms managed, I'll never know. That Christmas, the Lionel track circled our tree with the train happily going round and round. An equally happy little boy sat for hours watching. It became a tradition to place that beloved train around our tree. Many years later, the train charmed Bill's 4 children. Today, Bill lives in Mattoon, Illinois, and the train will again be part of Christmas for his family. From E. Geraldine Alford, Greenfield, Indiana. And here's a picture of somebody else with the little girl fascinated by the toy train. Dad's Christmas Village. At a time when most families were talking about how many people could fit around their dining room table for dinner on Thanksgiving, my dad, G. Wiley Overly, was moving our dining table and chairs to the basement. He was making room for the Christmas village that he spent so much time designing and building. It had a farm, a church, an armory, an airport, a lumber mill, an Indian teepee, a person fishing, a circus, a house, a road under construction, horseback riders, a zoo, and of course, Santa and his reindeer. Santa can be seen coming down a street located to the center right of the picture. Dad was a perfectionist, so the buildings, vehicles, and figures were close to scale and lit by Christmas tree lights. Wiring ran beneath the sturdy platform. Dad made the tunnel at the base of the tree from paper mache painted to look like a real mountain. He dyed sponges green for the bushes and trees. The tree trunks, made from sticks, were anchored with small pieces of wood for stability. The pretend lake in the center was made of metal and fit tightly in the wooden base. It was a treat to watch the train go over the bridge. My sister Anne ran the train and worked the switches while I turned the fountain on and off. Dad welcomed people into our home to see the village on weeknights during the first 3 weeks of December. At that time of year, there was always snow on the ground in our part of Pennsylvania. Many people arrived wearing snow-covered boots or shoes, but this didn't seem to bother my family a bit. Dad worked many evenings and weekends in November to get the display ready. This was indeed a labor of love that brought holiday delight to those who visited our home. I cherish these childhood memories. Louise Overly Culp, Cookeville, Tennessee. Here's that village. Boy, oh boy, it looks like he did work on that too. I bet our crafters could knock that out. Did she, Davina? Reached in and pulled out a plum. Nice, huh? Okay, we saw some of these pictures in the actual magazine that I have. Here's just some pictures right here. I'll hold them up. Surprise, I'll read this one down here though, because the guy's wearing an apron and he's got a cigar in his mouth. Surprise, on our first Christmas together in 1957, my husband Doug surprised me by preparing dinner, hence the apron, writes Dorothy Kelshaw of Lansing, Michigan. His hobby was gourmet cooking. He also surprised me with this Christmas tree. I just had to capture the moment of this macho man with cigar and apron putting the final touches on the tree. Oh, and look at this here. And the two little boys on the stairway. More wallpaper. I'd love to get some old-fashioned looking wallpaper. More pictures. Let me see if we have any more stories. Okay, how about ladder of success? Question mark. This small bit of family drama took place rather frequently in my house in Alton, Illinois in the late 20s. Wow, so almost 100 years ago. If only I had a ladder that reached to the ceiling, I could hang my pongy curtains myself. Yes, my mother said this over and over, year after year, until I had the complaint etched in my ears like a name on a gravestone. When he hung the silk curtains, Daddy always got the pinched cleats crooked, and one panel sagged dejectedly. My parents then yelled and fought about it. Now that's being real. Yeah, right? We're in the beginning of the 20s. Um, Fought about it. When I was 10, however, Daddy had the brilliant idea of giving my mother a 12-foot ladder for Christmas. This would allow her to hang her pongy curtains, not to mention making holiday decorating a breeze. He took my sister Jean and me into his confidence, and we all giggled and whispered together like conspirators. The metal ladder was big, heavy, and expensive, about $10. Now, Daddy had the problem of where to hide it so Mother wouldn't find it before Christmas. He decided to ask a neighbor to keep it. Mother's best friend, Patsy Hulsenberg, lived 2 doors down. Daddy asked her husband, Gus, to hide the ladder. Being a friendly guy, Gus said he'd find room in his shed. He also thought the present would be a success and would help preserve domestic harmony when it was time to hang those curtains or trim the Christmas tree. Patsy, who was a big talker and gossip around the neighborhood, told the Kramers and the Gills about the Christmas surprise coming for Irma Lampert. Everyone was delighted and knew all the details. Christmas Day arrived at last, and Daddy had a twinkle in his eyes. After we girls got our presents, he put Mother's favorite record, Hearts and Flowers, on the Victrola. Then he disappeared. Soon, Daddy reappeared with Gus, carrying the enormous ladder with the huge red ribbon tied to its peak. Mother was aghast. She sank to the couch and began to cry. She had been hoping for something romantic and glamorous, like a diamond ring, or perhaps a sparkling rhinestone necklace. But as she looked at Daddy, she knew the ladder was absolutely the most perfect gift he could offer. Daddy took her hand, and they kissed long and lovingly. I hope we never fight about the curtains again, he said. I love you so much, and I hate it when we bicker and shout. There was a knock on the door, and all the neighbors piled in. The Hulsenbergs, the Kramers, the Gills, and all their kids. Everyone hugged Mother and told her that she had a wonderful, thoughtful husband. Mother just kept crying big, splashy, happy tears. The neighbors brought punch and cookies, and Patsy took pictures of each family on the steps of the ladder. Mother brought in her big jar of cookies, and we ate and danced and played carols on the Victrola. After that, I don't think Daddy and Mother ever argued over the small stuff. When feathers began to fly, they just brought out that big old monster ladder to remind them of their love and laughed their troubles away. By Louise Larson, St. Louis, Missouri. And here's little Louise is pictured at 2 months old with her father, Anson Lampert, in April 1918. And then at age 10 with her mother, Irma. Wow, this really goes back. Your dad looks so old. But that's, I guess, how they looked. They just looked that way back then, the way they dressed, maybe. They all look so old. The dad looks kind of handsome, though. No, I never did. If she's acting up. Mother. Oh, that's cute. You rhymed, Pamela Patrick. I wake up and it's lonely. I check to see. Look, my friends are here. Good for me. Okay, Danielle, get your water. What, Mike? Mike, that's the truth. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, hit the lights. In December 1948, when I was 7, we lived on a farm near Pressup, Nebraska. My dad and we 3 kids had installed a wind charger that summer, so it was the first winter that we had electricity. We cut a tree from the pasture and decorated it with strings of popcorn and ornaments. My older brother made lights for it with old wires and bulbs we painted. We couldn't leave we couldn't leave the lights on too long because the paint would burn off. Plus, we would be wasting precious electricity. So, I watched out the north window and my sister watched out the south window as my brother stayed near the plug. When we saw car lights coming, we would holler, "Car!" and he would plug the lights in. That way, whoever drove by would know we had a lit Christmas tree. From Beulah Vale, Long Island, Kansas. That's cute. They just wanted somebody to see. And here's a festive flivver. In the 1940s, my husband's aunt and uncle decked out their old car and delivered gifts to their nieces and nephews, says Bernie Hauser of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. I'll show the picture in a sec. I'll read this other one. Very merry, cruising on Dream Street. Back in the 40s, the holiday decorations in our part of Detroit's east side were pretty scant. So a bunch of us would pile in a car and ride out to Lakeshore Drive. On one side was huge Lake St. Clair, frozen over and shimmering like diamonds. On the other side, always back off the road, stood the enormous mansions with thousands of lights in every holiday shape and form. Even the towering evergreens were aglow. We were awestruck and wondered what it could possibly be like to live in that fashion. Today, I live not far from that dream street and still take my grandchildren on a drive to see the wondrous display. But I don't wonder what it's like to live there anymore. I just drive back to our little house, make eggnog, and watch the kids open their presents. Nothing can stop that. From Shirley Paskey, Harper Woods, Michigan. And then this tree says, this picture, a cotton Christmas, as missionaries in Brazil, Florine Hawkins' family celebrated the holidays in the summer. In 1963, our twins and neighbors made a tree out of cotton, she says, from Odessa, Missouri. Lakeshore Drive. Yeah, we've been up there seeing the lights before, Kubi. It's nice up there in Chicago. Oh. This picture holding the baby says, First Christmas. My daughter Janet Lou was completely enchanted by our small pink Christmas tree, adorned with bright, shiny ornaments and glittering tinsel. It was her first Christmas in 1958. I was enchanted with it too, but even more so enchanted with our new baby by Sharon Cohen, Springfield, Illinois. Oh, that's a cute little dress on that baby. Okay, Spirit of the Season, Chapter 3. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. Have to get you there into the spirit. Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. It's also one of the best times to make someone else's day a little brighter, despite the hardships of the Depression years and rationing during World War II. Contagious spirit of generosity was alive in big-hearted folks who knew it was way better. It was better, far better to give than to receive. In 1933, our family could not afford a Christmas tree, says Phyllis Upright of Independence, Oregon. To an 8-year-old like me, that was devastating. My older brothers found a juniper bush in a neighbor's yard, cut off a good sized limb, and dragged it home for our Christmas tree. We carefully decorated it, but it didn't look much like a Christmas tree. My older sister, Maxine, had a boyfriend named Howard who owned a yellow roadster. One day, he came over to visit Maxine, and the first thing he saw was our makeshift tree. Without saying a word, he turned and drove away. When he returned about an hour later, there in his car's rumble seat was an honest to goodness Christmas tree with decorations already in place. He had gone home and taken the tree right out of his parents' living room and brought it to us. He thought we kids needed a tree far more than his parents, and they agreed. From chance encounters to unexpected blessings to random acts of kindness, these stories will remind you of the goodness that prevails during this special time of year. Aw, look at, look at these two little girls in the center picture. They look so happy there. Little choir boys and some people going into someone's home with presents. We're going to start playing music. Okay, Kevin. Putting the share in sharecropping. Texas twins made do at Christmas and split their gift from Alta Condren, Kaufman, Texas. Maybe this one will get you, Davita. Oh, and it even shows pictures of the fam. The fam bam. See, I know cool lingo. When you're 66, you know all these cool things, okay, that people say. I know all the latest stuff, the latest lingo. The fam bam. During my 1950s childhood in Headley, Texas, population 600, including cats and dogs, our family, the Butlers, were sharecroppers working the cotton fields in the area. We were a large but close knit family. 8 of us lived in a one-bedroom house with 3 girls in one bed and 3 boys in the other. We were allowed one game in the house, dominoes, since we didn't have a television. We were allowed to play on Monday until bedtime and on Saturdays if we had our Sunday school shoes polished. This left us lots of time to get creative with finding ways to entertain ourselves, which usually involves some kind of outdoor play. We never had much money for presents or a tree, but this didn't stop us from enjoying the holiday season. Christmas at school was particularly exciting. We'd be sitting at our desks when all of a sudden we'd hear a loud siren and bells ringing. Looking out the window, we'd see Santa Claus riding on top of a fire truck, carrying wrapped presents. What a sight! We would all gather around the school Christmas tree, waiting for Santa to hand us a present that would be our very own. We weren't interested in sitting on Santa's lap because we were too busy admiring our gifts. Each one of us was so thankful for that one gift that none of us asked for anything else from this magical man. The school Christmas tree was especially important to us. Um, because it often determined whether we would have a tree at home to decorate. Every year after the holiday party at school, the janitor would take down the tree and carry it to the burning area, which was surrounded by a wire fence. Since there were many poor families in town, lots of children, including my twin brother Alvy and me, would rush to save the tree and carry it home. One year, we were the first to arrive and were excited about getting a tree. But in Alvy's efforts to save the tree from burning, his pant leg caught on fire. As the other children looked on, one boy began to throw dirt and smother the fire on Alvy's pant leg. Alvy gave him the tree to thank him for saving his clothes. Without a tree, we went tumbleweed hunting. Whether we had a tumbleweed or tree, we still decorated it with the same things. We took icicles from the school tree, made garland out of paper, and used buttons to decorate the tree and canning lids to top it. We were so proud of our efforts. Every year we looked forward to seeing the Christmas fruit man, as Alvy and I called him. This man would load his truck with bushels of fresh fruits, mainly apples and oranges, and sell them door to door. If the cotton crop was good that year, Dad would buy one of each as a special Christmas treat. Also, if we had a good year, we knew we would get to order a crate of baby chickens, which would arrive in the spring, and 2 pairs of new shoes, one for working in the fields and everyday wear, and the other for school and church on Sundays. The crop also determined our Christmas presents. If it had not been good, we got gifts at the electric company where people brought their children's used toys. If the crop had been good, we would get a brand new gift. However, Dad couldn't afford a gift for each of us 6 kids, so we drew sticks to see if it would be a boy gift or a girl gift. In 1954, I pulled the short stick, but being a tomboy, I was pretty excited when our gift turned out to be a BB gun. On the Sunday after Christmas, Alvy and I raced home after church to see who'd get to use the gun to hunt rabbits and squirrels for meat for the family. Both of us grabbed the gun with the barrel resting on Alvy's shoe. I told him to turn the barrel loose or I would shoot his toe. He didn't turn it loose, and I pulled the trigger. I then looked down to see a hole in his Sunday school shoe. Fortunately, we always bought larger shoes than we needed so we could grow into them. So the BB missed his toe. Alvy shrieked. I knew I was in trouble, so I ran outside. We had a fun game of cat and mouse, chasing each other around the barn. As I peeked around the corner to catch a glimpse of him, he saw my nose and shot. To this day, I still have a dimple on the tip of my nose from the BB. Mom spanked both of us that day. Alvy for forgetting to change his shoes after church, and me for putting a hole in one of them. I'll always have fond memories of that Christmas and all the fun times I had with my twin brother. That year was also special because we received a cherished Bible storybook that we shared and read to each other for many years after. We never minded sharing because even though we may not have had much, we always had each other. And here's the twins. We weren't. Nope, that goes this way. Sitting on their mom's lap when they were babies. I can't believe I'm almost Danielle. Can't believe almost. I mean, I'm getting there. That's shocking. It really is. Um, let's see. I do too, Kevin. I love the old pictures. Let's read this one, The Golden Rule. Here's the old picture, and it says, A Reason to Smile. Helen Carey Blair, the girl with the big smile and gingham dress, half sitting on a desk in front, was thrilled after receiving the book at Wright. Somewhere out of nowhere. During the Christmas season of 1939, I was in the sixth grade at Parker Elementary School in Chicago. We held a small gift exchange, each of us buying a present for 25 cents to give someone in the class. I did a lot of babysitting to earn my 25 cents and bought a nice flower pin for a girl. Everyone opened their gifts: hair ribbons, pins, yo-yos, tops, model cars, and other toys and trinkets. But when I opened up my gift, I was disappointed to find a pad of rough arithmetic paper. Then the teacher, Miss Williams, called me up to the front of the room and handed me a package with a pretty ribbon around it. I opened it up and found a book titled Helen Carey, Somewhere in America, a story about a young girl brought up on a ranch. I was surprised. My name was Helen Carey too. I felt like the most important person in that room. I think I floated back to my seat. Everyone came to look at the book and said how lucky I was. I lost the book when my family moved to Arizona, but I was lucky to get my hands on another copy years later from a kind stranger I connected with on the internet. Another nice thing someone did for me. Today I'm proud to show the book to my grandchildren and great grandchildren. From Helen Carey Blair, Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, who came in with that name? Really? How rude. That is very bad. You're on the naughty list. You know that, right? Oh, using that in Santa's name. You are on the naughty list for sure. Santa Claus in a black sedan. Christmas 1953 started out looking like a rather scaled down affair. The tree wasn't as big as usual, and we 5 kids were informed Santa Claus is kind of poor this year. Evidently, it had been a bad year for farming all through the Midwest, including our farm in Guinea Bend, Illinois. It was with great expectation then that I looked forward to the school gift exchange. On the last day before winter vacation, we brought our 25-cent gifts and placed them under the Christmas tree. When my present was handed out, I felt through the wrapping and determined it was a book, my favorite gift, for I love to read. Why aren't you opening your present? Asked my 5th-grade teacher, Miss Tarrant. Students all around me were eagerly tearing off wrappings. My mom said I was to get just one present this year, I explained shyly, and I wanted to take this home and put it under the tree. Miss Tarrant didn't say anything more. On Christmas morning, a big black 40s sedan pulled up right in front of our house. Then out stepped Miss Tarrant, carrying a cardboard box. Santa Claus dropped these off at the wrong house, she said, and I thought you might be able to take them off my hands. Inside the box were several small presents, carefully wrapped in pretty paper, some for girls and some for boys. There was one package larger than all the others. That, Miss Tarrant said, she was pretty sure Santa would want me to have myself. It contained 2 books and an assortment of items not unlike some that I had seen on Miss Tarrant's school desk on the afternoon of the gift exchange. That Christmas turned out to be one of the most memorable I ever had. From Diana Schultz, Catlin, Illinois. That's so sweet of that teacher, isn't it? Right, Debbie D? The teacher cared so much that she went Christmas morning. Here's one. Holiday spirit remains. Back in the mid-1950s, when I was in grade school in Rockwell, Iowa, a holiday gift exchange was popular. At 50 cents, the price limit wasn't that steep for most of us. It was the last year before we became too old for the exchange, and I was excited. The only problem was, one boy in our class was from a family that was very poor. Of course, he drew my name. I resigned myself to no gift, knowing money was tight with them. I also had begun to learn that it was better to give than to receive. Imagine my surprise when I got a large gift on the day of the exchange. I opened it and found a model airplane valued at $1. I thanked the boy and walked on air for months until we left for summer vacation. Looking back, I realized that the teacher probably bought that plane and put my name on it. Regardless, I still treasure that time and try to believe Santa Claus worked his magic. It was the kindest thing. It was the kindest thing if the teacher did it, but if the boy did it, it was even better. From Mike Fatland, Mason City, Iowa. And then there's an ad here. Carolyn's live?
What? No, it's already done. No, it's already done. I know. Yeah. You're live, yeah. But you got to get that thing off the screen. Get that thing off the screen. Get that thing off the screen, that white box. No, it's on my screen. Now it is, yeah. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Yeah. Are you able to hear? Hello? Hi, Sassy and Darcy. All right. Okay. I got it, Jim. I got it. It's good. It's okay. It's okay, Jimmy. I got it. It's good. Hey, guys, I'm not doing very. I now have 101. What was my favorite? 101 point. 101.3. The chest pain is the worst. But now I've just been putting extra strength penetrate
Okay, guys,
over my chest.
going to
and
Carolyn's.
Taking
Bye-bye.
some Tylenol
Thank you.
and leave. You guys told me not to take ibuprofen.